page 65. So make sure you get there, make sure you have your pencil and you're ready to learn. Today we're continuing looking at comparisons this week, and we're going to try to figure out which comparison would work best for the problem that we've been given. We're also going to remember that when we have an unknown value, we want to use a letter to show that unknown value. So it says Anton is making chili for lunch at a soup kitchen. He uses 8 cups of navy beans. The recipe calls for 3 times as many black beans as navy beans. How many cups of black beans does Anton use? Let's look at A. We're going to work through this step by step. Draw a box around what you want to know. Then underline the facts that you will use. So what we want to know is our question. So we're going to put a box around our question. This is what we want to know. And then the facts that we're going to use. We use that he has 8 cups of navy beans and that he has 3 times as many black beans as navy beans. Now we need to identify which type of comparison we're going to use. So we're looking for those keywords we've been talking about in this entire module. We know that if we see the word more, we're going to add. If we see times as many, what are we doing? We're multiplying. Well, what do we see? We see 3 times as many. So right there, that tells us we're going to use the multiplicative comparison. Multiplicative comparison. All right, C, identify the unknown. The unknown is coming from our question. Circle the answer. So, how many cups of black beans does Anton have? Well, we know he has 8 cups of navy beans, but he has 3 times as many black beans. So 3 times is going to be our larger quantity, or it's going to be our higher number, is another way to look at that. So we're going to be looking for the unknown, which is the larger quantity. Now D says write an equation to model the problem. Use an N for the unknown. Well, we go back to B, and we said we needed to use the multiplicative comparison. So we know we're multiplying. So we're going to be using the second equation. Okay? So how many times as many? Well, we know that how many times as many, we circle it again, our problem is 3 times the smaller quantity that we know, which is 8, equals our larger quantity. We don't know our larger quantity yet, so we're going to use, you can use an N, which is what we're used to using. You can also use a B. You can say B for beans, whichever one works for you. Just so you know what you're trying to figure out. Now, E says solve the problem. Find the value for N that makes the equation true. If you use B, find that value for B, whichever one works. All right, so what is 3 times 8? So 3 times 8, it's 24. So how do you find that out? You could use a bar model. So we know that navy beans he had 8, black beans he had 3 times as many, and then you add 8 plus 8 is 16, 16 plus 8 is 24. So Anton uses 24 cups of black beans. So check to make sure that your answer is correct. All right, let's look at page 66 together. Let's look at page 66 together. Okay, our step it out. Some students are helping out at a soup kitchen. They bring in 42 cases of water and 7 cases of juice. How many more cases of water than juice do the students bring in? So let's first identify the type of comparison. So we're looking for keywords. automatically the first word that pops out is more. What did we know about more? We're adding, so we're using the additive comparison. Identify the unknown. What are we trying to find out here? Looking at our question, we're trying to find out how many more cases of water than juice. So how many more? So now we create an equation. So we know we're using the additive equation. We've already decided that. So let's take the information that we have. We're going to use an N for the unknown. So we know that we have 7 cases of juice. And then we're going to put our plus sign here. N is how many cases of water we have. We don't know that yet. But we know that, well, we do know. They have 42 cases of water. We're trying to find out how many more. Excuse me, I got a little mixed up there. We do know how many cases of water we have. We have 42. But we're trying to find out how many more cases of water. And got a little mixed up there. So, what do we need to do now? We need to do an inverse operation. Now, we've been working with multiplication and division. Those are the opposite. But we're adding this time. So, what do you think the opposite of addition is? It's subtraction. So we need to take the numbers that we have and subtract. So 42 subtract 7. Well, we can't take 7 from 2, so we need to come and regroup, make that a 12. 12 take away 7 is, and then 3 take away nothing is 3. So we have 35. So we have 35 more cases of water than we do juice. Simple enough. So if you're multiplying and you need to use inverse operation to find your unknown, you divide. If you're adding and you need to find the answer or find the unknown,